Good morning. So this video is gonna be a little different this time. We're gonna try to do it in English as my second language, and this is gonna be more for our business owners out there that are barely starting their business or they already have a while with their business. And I'm gonna use a little bit of my experience that I have with running companies and what I see the issues that some of the companies had and some of the issues that I fixed with those companies. The first company I actually was running is a company that came into my lap by default, kind of like um, a little bit by mistake because the owner was starting the business. He was also a worker for another company, a very successful company in town. So he decided to open his own business, and when he decided to open that business, he asked me if I want to go work for him and help him. At that time, that we only have myself and I would say three other workers that were working with me and himself. He was acting like a salesperson, so he was trying to sell the business. He was trying to develop all the business for the company. While he was doing that, I was focusing in running that business. So we were doing a maintenance route, and we were also doing a construction division on that. So we were kind of doing a little bit of both at the same time. At that time, we're talking about a landscape business. So we started growing the company, and it started going very well because he was a really good salesperson. He had a lot of contacts, and he was selling. And this town back in, I'm talking about back in 1997, 98, 99, before 2000s. And at that time, I wasn't. I was just a foreman, supervisor type of thing. But he didn't have anybody else other than me. So I was the only person between myself and the employees and him. So kind of like everything run through me, and he showed up to the yard every day. He was probably running the day-to-day basis and doing the day-to-day business. He was also doing all the sales thing. So he was doing great. He got a great personality, and he did really good on that portion. Where I learned from him was that he was really good at sales. The only thing that I didn't like about him is that he have like a, how do you call it, a mentality that he was right. He didn't care what the customer said. So if he was right on anything and the customer wanted to do something different, he didn't care, and he didn't want to do what the customer wanted to do. Even though the customer wanted to do certain things and he didn't like that idea, he will tell the customer that he will not do it that way. Either he will do it his way or he will have to look for a different company. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes that's also detrimental to the business because when time went by, little by little, some customers love him and some customers did business with him because of the personality he had. But other customers kind of hated him and didn't want to do business with him. So little by little, that company grew to a certain degree, to a certain point. But then he ended up losing some business, some important business that would have been good for the company. So where I'm going with this is it's good to have a mentality that when you run a business, it has to be your way and the only way. It's good to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, you have to kind of please your customers because the most important thing in business is your customers, your employees, and your systems that you have. So if you have a good product, a good service that you provide in, that's number one priority. But now you need customers to kind of sell this service. So when you have customers and you have a good product, that's great. But now you need to have some kind of system to deliver all of this and to keep the company growing. And that's what I did with a bunch of companies in the past. Kind of put those three things together. Uh, Provide a great or fix the service that they were doing wrong, fix them correctly, put it there in the right way, and deliver it to customers. And then deal with the customers and make sure that you tell the customer what was right and what was wrong, and make sure that you got it. And then I created systems for to deliver the services. That's what I did. That's the only thing what I did with these companies, and I was very successful in doing that. But like I said, and every company needs this. Every company needs a guy that will be a good at sales, and a guy that or a person that will be really good at delivering this sales. So that's what I did really good. That's what I saw, and the companies that I actually helped build or helped run, and it was really good, and it was very successful on doing so. So I worked for this company for this first company I worked for. We worked for about, I would say, 6 years first, and then I end up getting fired because obviously the company got successful within six years, and I was making good money, and everything was going great. And then somebody came and kind of told my boss that I can do it for cheaper, and my boss actually ended up letting me go because one thing that companies do is when they have a CEO, a person that makes a lot of money, and they try to make changes to deliver something different or try to make improvements on the business, the first person that goes is the CEO, or the person that is making the most money. This, you can see this in big corporations. All big corporations, always make cuts, and the first people that leave is the people that are actually, making the most money. Try to cut, so they make the guy, for example, they make the supervisor do the manager things. So because they can make this guy less money, and they can get rid of the manager and bring the supervisor to be doing 2 or 3 jobs now. So when the economy crash, or the economy kind of goes bad, or companies are losing money, they try to make some kind of changes. The first thing they do is fire the guy that is making the most money, hire the people that are making the most money, and then let the guys that are hungry, the guys that are kind of making the less money, try to do more work. So they kind of shorten the workforce. So now the guy that was being a supervisor becomes a manager for, I will say, 10, 15, 20,000 less what they were paying the manager, and then try to bring a labor lead guy to be a supervisor for also 10, 15,000 less than what they were paying supervisors. That's the first thing the companies do to when try to cut costs. Would let go of the guy that paying the most. So that happened to me, like I said, 3 times in my career. I built companies, getting to make some money, and then end up getting fired. And they can make excuses. They can say, different things or different issues that happen with you, the reason why they let you go. But at the end of the day, it's because you were making the most money. So when you were making the most money, the first person that goes is that. Okay, and then the other thing that I learned with these companies is that they don't prioritize areas where they can save money. For example, if a company is having a lot of issues with you know incidents or accidents, they don't invest in training. They just this incident accidents keep happening, but they don't invest in training, on safety training, on safety protocols. That people or companies don't invest on that. And I think one of the most expensive things for companies other than employees and labor force is insurance. Insurance is so expensive. Now that I run in my own business, I can tell you that that's one of the most expensive things, and the companies, because insurance will try to cover the losses before they're actually getting any losses. So I think insurance is one of the most profitable business that there is, because if you don't use your insurance, they're making money, but if you use your insurance, you end up paying for it. So if not, take a look at your car insurance. If you have no incident or accidents, yeah, they give you a little rebate saying because you're a safe driver, but they still raise your premium every year. Whether it be $5, it will be $20, it will be 100, depends how good you're a driver. But if you have incidents or accidents, they will actually charge you more. They will tell you, well, or they will not insure you. If you end up having a lot of incidents or accidents, so if you get a DUI, you get things like that, they will end up raising your premium, have to get extra insurance, because they don't want to insure you, because you're a high risk for them. So what they do is they raise your insurance. So in business, it's the same thing. If you are a company that are having a lot of incidents or accidents, they will raise your premiums, or flat out tell you that they will not insure you. So I think what companies lack, and what where companies fail, is to actually look into the safety programs and safety protocols. They at every company needs to have a safety protocol, but most of them don't use the training, or don't train their employees and do this, because they think that the you waste an hour or 30 minutes or 50 minutes every day training your guys, or once a week or once a month. They see this a dead time, a time that you're not producing anything. And in the company, you're not producing anything, they think you're not making money. But at the end of the day, training your people, training your employees is a good investment. Well, yeah, and the front end, it will look like an expense, but in the back end, it will be actually a good thing for you, because you will be able to get insured, and you will be able to keep your employees safe. So if I can tell anything to my uh, business owners up there, is invest in your people, invest in training, invest in safety, because that's one of the most important things that you end up having a big return on it. I was able we were able, a group of people and myself were able to take one company that was having a lot of incidents and accidents, like at least one, two, three, or four a month, to nothing, to zero, to one or two a year. That's a big accomplishment. But that happened because we were able to train people pretty much once a week, and we were doing it in different type of scenarios. We were training the drivers, we were training, the employees, we were training the management, we were training everybody in different ways. And we had a safety program that was pretty damn good. And I did not did that by myself. Of course, there was some other people involved with that safety program, and it was really good. So if you can invest anything, invest in your employees, and that will be big savings in the long run. And it will be really it will be a great satisfaction seeing that your company, you have a 200-300 employees company, and have one incident or accident a year. That's pretty damn good. Not a lot of companies can say they can do that. So if you can do that with your company, or your small business, do that. Train your people, even though it might seem like a waste of time. Training will change your company in a good way. Training will affect your bottom line sooner or later. Training is very important. So invest in your people, because it will be a really good way of saving money in the long run. Great. Follow us here on our YouTube channel, social media channels, and then we'll keep you updating the little stories of my career and the landscape industry, and we'll see how we can help each other to be better in everything that we do. But training your people, training safety, and that will be a big difference. Sooner or later, you will see it. Even though it might seem like a big expense at the beginning, your insurance is a big expense, and it will change the way you run your business. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.